Hello everybody, it's Keren here from tuppence Thank you very much for joining me today. Now, a few projects ago I showed you how I decorated this coaster, and I said that I was going to show how to make a box to fit it. So I have done that, and this is the box, and it's a nice sturdy box because the coaster is very heavy, so I wanted something that it wouldn't flop around in, and very straightforward to make, so stay with me and I will show you how it all went together. I have two pieces of Bermuda Bay card, and this one is 6 1/4 inches square and this one is 5 1/4 inches square. This is going to be the base, this is going to be the lid, but I'm going to do all of my scoring at the same time so that when it is all done. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and I'm going to turn and score at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Whoops, skidded a bit there, and 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and last time 1/2 inch. Come on, stop skidding. 1/2 inch. This wants to skid for some reason, and 1 inch. Okay, so this is going to be the base of my box. I've skidded a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now, for the lid of my box, I'm going to use this, which is my box lid shim, and this is an idea I got from watching Connie Stewart's channel. And what this is a piece of window sheet which I've folded so that it fits over the edge of my Simply Scored board, and I've stuck a couple of pieces of card onto the edge of it. So what that is doing is that when I'm scoring, it's making my line just a little bit narrow and giving me a little bit more room for my lids. So I'm going to make sure that that is in place and that my card is pushed up against it, and I'm just going to score 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And if you haven't made one of these nifty gadgets, the other thing you could do is get a couple of layers of card and just sort of push them up against the edge of the scoreboard, but that's easier. Okay, so move my scoreboard out of the way, and I'm going to do my burnishing before I go any further. So if there's any camera wobble, my apologies. I'm going to start with the outer line and then the inner line. Okay, oops, missed one. And I'll do the lid while I'm at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, it's going to be quite a shallow box, but that doesn't matter because the coaster isn't very deep. Okay. So now I'm going to do some trimming here, and I'm going to cut away. You see we've got a crisscross there. I'm going to cut away these 3 squares and cut into that little flap there. So away they go. Cut into the little flap, and I'm just going to make a little nick so that they're all the same. So I want these. Now for once, I want both of my flaps on the same side, because normally I would do one there and one there and one. I don't. I want them to be on the same side. So that is the way that I want them to be. I want them to be mirror images on this side as well. And it doesn't really matter. It just makes, I just think it looks a little bit tidier, that's all. But as long as you wind up with a flap on each end, so you wind up with 4 flaps, I don't suppose it really matters. away. And again, let's do the lid at the same time. Now this one, I will do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the reason why I've done it that way is because it distributes the bulk a little bit so that each edge has one flap but only one, whereas this side some of them have 2 and some of them have none. Does that make sense? I know what I mean anyway. It makes sense in my head. Okay, so the way this is going to go together, the flaps are going to go in and the edge is going to come over and hold them in place just like that. Okay, so that I will have adhesive on these flaps and on this edge. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to begin with fast fuse all along this edge. I'm just going to turn that over. I'm going to keep it up so it doesn't stick on my table, because that would not be good, although I have got my silicone mat underneath, so that will stop most accidents. And I'm going to do the same thing along these edges. And this edge, and turn over, push everything out of the way. Holding that back. Alright, now here goes. So I'm turning my corners in, and I'm bringing this edge over, and this edge over. No, I'm not. I'm bringing my 4 flaps in first. Don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Never mind. So now I've got the base of my box. I'm just going to fold my edges in, and that is going to make a box with a very strong wall, which is what I want, because the coaster is heavy and I want to make sure that it doesn't fall out and land on someone's foot, because that would not be good. You'll probably wind up in plaster. Alright, where's my coaster got? Okay. So put that in there, and that is a nice fit. And I could probably have even gone in another 1/4 inch maybe, but you know what, I think that's near enough. Okay. Right, so let's bring in the lid, and again with the fast fuse, and as I'm doing this I'm thinking that I should probably be decorating it before I stick it together, but hey ho. Bringing in my corners and lining everything up neatly and tidily. And if I've done this right, the lid will fit snugly, very snugly. As you can see, it's not bowing, not pushing it out of shape. That is a neat fitting lid. Now, because I got carried away and made my box lid up before I had actually decorated it, to give it a bit of rigidity while I'm working on it, I've put the lid on the box upside down, and I'm putting my coaster underneath it. So that'll give me something solid to work on. And this is a 4-inch square of By the Shore DSP. And I'm just going to put some bits of snail. I'm running low on snail, and have I actually run out? I think I may have actually run out. So I'm just going to finish off with a bit of fast fuse, because the snail has given up the ghost. Okay, I do love this the colour, this corally colour. It is in fact Calypso coral, isn't it? So yeah, and it is a beautiful, beautiful coral colour. Okay, so that's covered the top of my box. So I'm going to put that on one side just for a moment. I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm using Perfectly Wrapped, and I'm going to use Happy Days. So I'm just going to get my block here. And where is it? Where is it gone? There it is, right in front of me. So the other side. And I have Bermuda Bay ink and Very Vanilla card. Oh, that's a lovely colour. Isn't that a glorious colour? And count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got my silicone mat underneath. Although I do find that for text stamps, they generally work quite well. It's the more solid, you know, background stamps that tend to be a bit troublesome with photopolymer. Okay, so I have a 1 3/4 inch circle punch here, which just about fits pretty much exactly. Okay, so I've got a scrap of Bermuda Bay and a 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to wait for a second and layer these two up. And again, I'm using fuse because the snail ran out, and I will change that as soon as I've finished doing this, and I will add a new one to my next order. Okay, right, okay, and let me see. So I've got some Bermuda Bay sequin trim, and actually I'm going to cut a bit off the end here. Because A, it's a bit too long, and B, I can use some of those individual sequins. Okay. Oops! I just fired the cork that I keep the point of my piercing tool in, and just fired it across the room. So yeah, that was clever. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and then these can just stick nicely onto there, and the leftover ones, let's glue dot and sequin. Come on. Oops, everything's flying around tonight. Ah, I'm so warm tonight. And when I'm filming, I can't really have the fan on because it makes too much noise. So I've just got my little quiet fan going on. I don't even know if you can hear that, but it is warm and sticky tonight, by British standards, that is. You know, it's probably really cool if you live in Texas or somewhere, but it's quite warm enough for me, thank you very much. So there are two. So should we have one more? Yeah, why not? You know, why not indeed? Where should we put that? Up there, I think. Let me just take one off this little strand here and pop those along there. So yeah, that's looking quite nice and nautical. And some of the gold natural trim, so let's tie a bow with that because we can. And at this point I'm pretty much making it up as I go along. I should warn you that I don't really have a plan at this point. I'm just throwing things together and seeing how it all comes out. So how's that? Do I like that? I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to leave it with just the sequins. So we'll save our trim for another day. So these we will add dimensionals to. Now what I should have done really is run it underneath the DSP, but do you know what? It's too late now. So hey ho. Let's put this fairly central. I'm going to just trim this last little bit of sequin tail there. That didn't do a lot of good. Okay. And there you go. There's my finished box, and my coaster is inside with some good sturdy walls to keep it safe and secure, and it has a lid which fits good and snugly on there. So that is it for today, but before I go into my usual wind-up spiel, I've been asked, somebody left a comment to say they wanted to know what the hand signals that I do are. Now I do talk with my hands, can't help it. If I sit on my hands I can't speak, but the hand signals are this one, which is give me a thumbs up. So this is a shameless request for you to click the like button underneath, which leads me on to the next hand signal, which is that one, because that's pointing you to the more information panel below this video, and that is where the like button is situated, and it's also where you can find links to my blog and to my Facebook page. I'd be absolutely thrilled skinny if you'd visit either of those and either subscribe or like my Facebook page. And there's also a link to my Stampin' Up shop, because I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can, if you want to, purchase supplies through me if you're in the UK or in any of the countries we operate in Europe. And again, would be chuffed to bits if you did that. Sometimes I will do that, and whenever that happens, it means that I'm going to put some sort of message or information or a link at the top of the screen. And if you see this one, that is because I have edited the video wrong. When I'm editing, I film on a webcam, which is on a tripod up there, which you can't see, but I can. And it's on a tripod facing downwards over my craft table, and I then edit it afterwards. I work on an Apple Mac, and I edit it afterwards in iMovie. So all the bits where I went wrong, forgot something, had to go over to the other side of the room to pick it up, the cat jumped on the table, the phone rang, the postman came, all of those things, they get edited out, and what you see is should be the finished article. And I give myself the visual cue to let myself know when I'm editing, right, this is where you need to be looking at, and this is where you need to cut. So it's as simple as that. So I hope you've enjoyed that little bit of an explanation, and if so, well, I've already given you the information about liking, subscribing, and all the rest of it. So thank you very, very much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.